On today's video, we are going to review CT Toys Wolverine, which is a knockoff of the Mafex Wolverine, and we're going to talk about is KO okay? So let us do it. What is happening, folks? It is Jimmy G in the place to be, bringing you back to another episode of The Good, The Bad, The Awesome, where I unbox, give my first reaction to all things pop culture. So if you like to see what I see, hit that like, subscribe, get notified when we have new videos. And if you're doing that already, thank you so very much. So today I got something in from AliExpress, and it is the CT Wolverine in the brown comic version of action figure. And this is supposed to be a KO of the Mafex figure. So we're going to take a look at this. So, you know, I've heard great things about this, but then part of me goes, should I support KO or should I support the people who actually made it? Because Mafex, this is $100+ figure with Mafex, but CT Toys, you can find this on AliExpress from anywhere from $16 to $25. So a big, huge price difference. Now, I don't have the Mafex figure, so I don't have it to compare it to, but we're going to see if this is good enough for me, because I love Wolverine. I love the brown suit. When it first appeared, John Byrne, the Claremont run, the brown and gold, that was my Wolverine. Now the blue and yellow is a great suit too, but that brown and gold is what kind of is when I first started following Marvel Comics, and that is the Wolverine that I grew up with, which most other people grew up with. Now we know he's back in the yellow and black and blue, and it changes and things like that. But here he is. This is a very nice looking box, and when it came in from AliExpress, it was super protected. A lot of times when I get stuff from Ali, it's damaged, but this came, and the box looks really nice. It's got the CT logo right there, CT logo right here. Of course, it looks like a comic book cover. On the side, you have Wolverine. On the back, you have the different things you can do. So the snick sound right there, that was always the coolest. And then on this side, you have more. And then on the bottom, there's warnings, all sorts of stuff. There's no UPC code because, again, this is a KO product. This should not be on the market, but it is. And I am excited to kind of play with it to see what are my thoughts. So let's get this out of the box. All right, here it is out of the box onto my table, and he is here. And so far, first impressions, he feels pretty solid in the hands. Now, all I've done was just set him up, but feels pretty good and looks pretty decent too. And we'll get a closer look at him here first. But first, we'll see what all you get. You do get a stand. Now, this is a cheaper stand that normally comes with the Mafex figure, but it is a stand nonetheless that will work for what you need it to do. So we'll put that together later. You also get this head right here. Very nice head sculpt. Really, the paint job on here is really nice. It's got a blue and black. There's no overspray. They did a really, wow, CT Toys, this is a really good job on this this head sculpt here. Then we got this head sculpt, the kind of the open, that kind of looks, he looks a little derpy with that little look on his face right there. But this again got a little bit of overspray right there, but overall looks really good. Love how they put a little bit of the brown tannish kind of shading there, but overall nice little head sculpt. Then we got this, which is his cowl that you can hang back. You know, when you're using this head, you can hang this back, which just simple, plain old cowl. Needs a little bit more paint right there. You got his two snicked hands, his claws, so very nice details in these guys here. And then you got the figure itself. So this figure does measure, let's bring it up. At the top of his handles there at 6 inches tall for how tall he is. Now, I've heard that these are just slightly smaller than the Mafex version. So if you do have the Mafex version, please let me know, because I would keep inquiring minds. I don't own a Mafex. I'd like to review my first Mafex figure. I'll eventually get one. But this guy is the closest thing that I have. I have mainly SHFiguarts, Marvel Legends, that kind of stuff. So let's bring him in for a closer look. And right now, I can already tell you it looks good. And the plastic feels really good in the hands. It doesn't feel cheap like you normally get with a lot of KOs. I remember when you all saw my KO of the Figma Levi Ackerman, I mean, there was a lot of like overspray, underspray of the paint, and it just was cheap feeling. But this one actually feels really, really good and looks really good too. I mean, they did a good job with the shading here. There's a little bit of like just kind of like just messiness in the paint right there, but that's just nitpicking. Everything else looks really, really nice. The face sculpt looks really good. The arms with the hair, that's kind of a nice little touch right there. Did a good job with that. Then you have on the fist, of course, his gauntlets there with the claw, where the claws come out. Then you have the back looks really nice. The boots, yeah, again, I'm trying to find something wrong with this, but I don't, I mean, if I'm being nitpicky, it's just going to be that little bit of overspray right there and right there. But other than that, this figure looks great. Looks really good, and feels good in the hands too. So let's do this. The official Jimmy G rotisserie view. There's the front, the side, the back, the side, and the front. And when it comes to articulation, I mean, you have the head is on a ball and it is on a swivel, and then the neck as well, you have that articulation in the neck. I love the fact that you can get that head up there if you need to. The arm has all this right here, like a little bit of butterfly joint. You have the swivel at the bicep, the swivel at the top of the arm. You have a drop right there too as well. You can come up forward, back. It's just, you've got a lot of articulation, more than a 90-degree bend at the elbow, and then the fists, and it feels really tight. You know, sometimes on these figures they're really loose, but this feels really, really good in the hand. So let's lift those arms up. Let's give them the Mr. T pose right there, and then you have, and let's take a look here. Oh, you got a little gap right there. That could be just something nitpicky, complaining about. You got the upper ab, the lower ab, and he does do the crunches right there, and it does twist. So you do have that. You do have some leg. You can't really Jean-Claude them, but you do have the twist, and it is a hip drop too as well. So you do have that there, and then you do have a little spray right there. Okay, I'm starting to find some stuff. You have more than a 90-degree bend, the ankle, toe tilt, and then you do have just the twist there too as well. You can kick up and you can kick back, but his underwear gets kind of in the way. So that is how he looks, and then just changing the hands and stuff, it's just a matter of popping them off and then popping on the new ones, and same with the head there too as well. So let me do this. Let me get the stand and stuff together, and then let's compare him to some other figures. One thing, these figures, sometimes you just got to get them standing just right. There we go. But overall, so far, very, very impressed with this figure. So let's compare him with some others. Okay, here is my prison lineup. So state your name and say you got it, bub. So whoever is the culprit will be guilty. I don't know what I'm saying here. But first of all, we do have Marvel Legends Logan right there. A lot taller than this Wolverine. So Wolverine, again, he's a short dude in the comic books, but of course Hugh Jackman is not a short dude. But there is the SHFiguarts, pretty similar in articulation from SHFiguarts and the CT Toys here. 5-inch McFarlane and then a 7-inch McFarlane. So from an articulation, I would say it's on par with the Figuarts. And from an overall just kind of feel and look, I think it's on par with that too as well. The Marvel Legends one is good. My McFarlane, I love my McFarlane stuff, but man, this CT Toys, I'm gonna have to check out some of their other stuff, but it does bring up the question, is KO okay? So let's do this. Let's get back to me in the chair to talk through that and talk through some of my final thoughts. So back for my final thoughts on the CT Toys KO version of Mafex's brown suit Wolverine. And I can tell you already, he's really, really great. And especially for the price, you can't beat it. And this is probably the way I want to keep him. One claw out, one down. So that would be kind of cool. I don't know if I'm going to put the other claw hand there. I haven't decided yet, but very, very nice. A few little minor things with some overspray on some areas, but other than that, everything else is tight. The joints are tight. Everything else looks really, really good. And then again, like on AliExpress, you can pick it up for 16 to 25. I paid 20 for him, and for $20, it's a no-brainer. I'm definitely looking at getting the yellow suit Wolverine as well. So hopefully I can get that in, but I'd love to get the Mafex to compare these guys and compare the quality, all of that stuff, and just see if, like, from a $20 to $100+ figure, do you notice the difference? And right now I don't have that, but I can tell you with my SHFiguarts, I don't really notice much difference. But that does bring up the question, is KO okay? Now, all my life, I have bought the off-brand thing. So as a kid, you know, you eat the off-brand cereal. It's not Captain Crunch. It's like maybe Lieutenant Crunchy or whatever it may be. Or instead of Lucky Charms, it's Magical Treasure, you know, and things like that. And so you have these factories that make this food for post, but then they put their own brand on it and is selling it too as well for a cheaper cost. Now, this is a straight up knockoff, right? This is a knockoff. It's, you know, somebody else did the research, somebody else did the R&D, somebody else did all the work, and all the other person had to do was get the plans or reverse engineer it and then just make it. And CT Toys made a very, very good knockoff. It's the difference between like Nike with an E and Nike with a Y when you go to like a flea market or fake Okies or whatever they may be. Is it okay? That is up. I would say that's subjective to you and how you feel. Now, I'm starting to collect a lot of third-party Transformers figures, and those have the likeness of, you know, intellectual property. So in a way, they are knockoff, but some of them have their own engineering, which means they put their own research and development in it. But then there are KOs of things that Hasbro and Takara made that, you know, if you're on a budget, that's the only thing you can afford, right? That's all that, I mean, like $20, yes, I could afford that. 120? That's a little tough. But am I taking food out of someone's mouth? Am I doing that? Is it wrong? Is it what do I feel like I'm not going to sleep at night? I definitely will sleep at night. I mean, buying a toy, but I think, you know, if it is this is my philosophy. This is my overall statement. If it is in your power to be able to buy it straight from the people who made it, then I would say do it. But if you can't afford it, if you can't afford the finances or whatever it may be, and someone else is making a cheaper alternative, give that a whirl, give that a try. Because I think they did a really good job. Now, there are really bad KOs out there, really, really bad ones. But I would say this, if it's in your power to get genuine original Mafex, SHFiguarts, Figma, and that kind of stuff, and not just to save a buck or something like that because you're like, oh, I'm just gonna get the $20 one because it's just as good. I would, in my opinion, I would say get the one that was made by those people. But if you're like me and you're like, I can't afford the $120 one right now, I can't do that. You either A, have to save your money, or B, you go with this as a nice alternative for what you're doing. Now, are they ever going to stop KOs? No, it's not going to happen, because I mean, everyone copies everyone. You know, it's like the old saying, I think Picasso said it. It said, good artists create, great artists steal. You know, so everybody's a copy of something, somewhere, some form, some fashion. I mean, if you're looking even in the comic books, I mean, you had DC and you had Marvel copying DC, and then DC copying Marvel, and just all sorts of stuff. Come on, Slade Wilson and Wade Wilson, Deathstroke, Deadpool. I mean, come on. And then you got the New Gods, you got Thanos versus Darkseid, all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, you have people working for people and doing those type of things. And so everyone is copying something in some form or some fashion, taking inspiration from it. But to take someone's work and call it your own, like if, you know, that I don't know. I just don't know, and I can't answer that question. But on a scale of good, bad, awesome, this figure is freaking awesome. And I can say, if you're looking for a good Wolverine and you don't have the budget for the Mafex or the SHFiguarts or Figma or whatever, then this is going to be a really, really great alternative. And I'll put a link down below where you can kind of look at it and peruse it and get it. But that's all I got to say about that. This may not be a popular video, because so there are people that are very strong, like, no to KO, and then there are people that are like, no to the man, KO is better, get KO because you're going to stick it to the man or whatever. And then there are people that are like, I just can't afford it, I just want a good figure. And I'm kind of in that third camp. I just need a good figure, and I can't afford sometimes the ones that they're charging for. So you make that decision. It's between your conscience and your karma, your God, whatever, however you feel. You make that decision if KO is okay for you. But that's all I got to say about that. So if you enjoyed this video, maybe consider becoming a member, giving a super thanks, but at least subscribe to the channel, get notified when we have new stuff. And if you're doing that, please, thank you so much. Thank you to all my members that are out there. But tune in next time when we do talk about something else, good, bad, or awesome. But in the meantime, y'all remember to stay young, have fun, and be awesome. Let's do it, bub. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.